Hi everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative, and I hope you're having a beautiful and creative day. We're going to get into our project in just a moment. I wanted to touch base with you based on our last project that we did, which was this coaster. You will notice I have the puzzle pieces in here. Now, I still have had to, I don't want to say jam, but I'm going to say jam one of the pieces in to have this fit. Again, I don't know why these pieces haven't fit in here quite properly, where the other ones that I have made in the past have been fine. I haven't had an issue with them. I will probably end up sanding down a couple of the pieces to get these so they fit in here better. Now, I did bring down one of the other ones I've done, and like these pieces, and I hope you can see that, like you can hear them move, hopefully. Like they move and they pop out really easily. So I'm not really 100% sure, unless there's something with my mold, as to why this one has been such a challenge to get in and out. But anyways, I did manage to get all the pieces, and it seemed a little bit when I was waiting throughout the day that I think as they dried a little bit more, they fit in a little bit better. But this piece I had to kind of jam in here. And that shouldn't happen. So I'm probably just going to end up in like these, they like ever so slight with the movement, whereas with the other one, it's a lot easier. And it's the same with the other ones I have. I don't know what happened with this one, but anyway, I wanted to let you know that I had managed to get them in. I will have to sand down a little bit, but at least and it looks really cool because you can see the bottom through this, which I really appreciate. So hopefully you can maybe, there we go, hopefully see that a little bit better. Anyway, we will put these aside and we will get going with our next project, which is going to be this Christmas tree. We're going to make this tree today, and as you can see by the thickness and everything else, I made this mold. I didn't buy it because it would be much better looking if I had bought it. We're going to work with blues today. Think Elvis Presley, think Blue Christmas. And how are we going to do this? Well, we're going to do this in 2 steps, and I have to plug in one of my UV lights because I'm going to need this for the first step. So let me just get this plugged in so we can carry on as I, stretch over absolutely everything to try and get to my power bar. There we go, that's done. So you need to know these things. What am I doing when I'm stretching and you can't see what I'm up to? I did write on this that this takes approximately 70 mils of resin. Now my mold is a little sort of flat in the center, and that could be because my mold's not perfectly flat. But you know what? I can deal with that. At the end of the day, and you are going to be the only ones that know that. So as much as we are going to make the tree blue, I am going to use the Magic Resin Yellow for the star, which you can't see very well because of the mold, but obviously the star is at the top of the tree. We're going to use that for the star. Because I'm doing blue, I'm going to use some of the Eye Candy Glimmer Ghost Blue in it. I am going to use the translucent Ocean Blue by Alumilite, and I really should have gloves on when I'm handling this bottle because I normally end up with blue on my hands. And we are also going to, I wasn't wrong, use this Eye Candy Denim Flakes. Now, I have not worked with the Eye Candy Flakes before. I have not worked with any kind of flakes before with any company. So I'm not really 100% sure about putting this on, whether it works like the chameleon flakes that Let's Resin has out or not. I don't know. So we're going to find that out together. I'm also going to use these silver beads, and that's where we're going to start with this. I've done this tree before. Actually, I've only made one of these before, and that was maybe last year or the year before. What I did was, there are lines in here, and hopefully you can see those. They're here, 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 and here, and down here at the bottom, and I'm not going to deal with that. But what I want to do, and I think maybe I'll just do these 4 lines, is I am going to use some UV resin and put, to the best of my ability, the balls here. Now, I had thought about using crushed glass. Again, as much as I know it's going to, like, I'm going to mix them in with the resin, I always get a little concerned about that. You know that about me. Yes, I'm a little paranoid over some things, but that's okay. I'd rather the safety, especially if people pick it up. That's my big thing. So we're going to mix some UV resin. I'm going to use the Let's resin. We're going to mix in some of these, you know, small silver balls, and then we're going to line them up. We're going to cure them with my magic resin lamp. Got way too many things going on here. And then once that's done, then I will carry on, and very carefully I'm going to sporadically put and work with this denim flakes, and just to see how they work out. I don't want them all over the place because I'd like some of the translucent and the glimmer ghost blue to come through at the end of the day. And then the yellow will just be the solid yellow. So let's get going on this and see how we manage, and we'll put on our gloves because that's absolutely important. Okay. Yeah, I had originally thought of doing the lines with a white resin and not a white resin, a white mica powder, and then I went, nah, let's not do this. I should check my bottle. This is being very slow coming out. I have to admit, I've had this UV resin for quite a while. I don't know if there's expiry dates on this stuff or not. I know that for resins, if once the bottles are open, they say 6 months. I don't know if that holds true for UV resin. So if anyone happens to know the answer to that, if you can drop that in the comments below, that would be great. And I got thinking about this group and asking questions and whatnot. And, you know, I'll openly admit I don't know everything. So it's always helpful to me to ask you guys some questions. And if you can help out, great. Or maybe I'm asking a question that you don't have the answer to either, but you're hoping someone else might. I like asking questions, and I won't stop. I'm going to keep asking questions until I know everything I care to know about. And some people in the world don't like when you ask questions. I do, because I think that's the only way we learn, is by asking questions. So I plan to continue that journey, whether anyone likes it or not. And I guess that comes from my days as being a trainer in the corporate world, that you have to ask questions. It's the only way you're going to learn. And I think in life, that's the way you learn, unless you're going to do all the studying on your own. However, there's certain things that come up that sometimes you just need to ask the question. Alrighty, so let's see how well we can do this. Now, thankfully, I have my other glasses that I can throw on to see well better. All right. And hopefully they don't go rogue, and we'll see if we can't as well get them in a relatively straight line. Now I'm going to bring this tree a little closer to me, and I don't really care if we get more than, you know, 1 or 2. Like it's a Christmas tree, right? So let's deck it out. It's just getting the balls off of the stick. There we go. It was kind of interesting this past weekend, I actually took a day where I did nothing. I am the type of individual who just can't sit still. I have to be doing something. On Sunday, I just went, no. I've been doing a lot of different things regarding, the YouTube videos and art for people and just in general, and I went, I'm done. So I pretty much sat on the couch, except for my YouTube video that I put up for Monday, which I just had to get up, and I just did nothing. It was beautiful. Like, just, yeah. You gotta have those days, people, where you do nothing. Because now, you get into Monday morning, and you can go, yep, away we go. So I hope you take time for you. I know we live in what we think is a really busy world, but sometimes you just have to take time for yourself. So I hope you do. Go and have a nice hot bath and put a sign on the door that says, be back in an hour or something like that. And I'm sure it's a challenge if you've got children, but, they go off and they do their own thing. So I think, as parents, hey, you can get to go off and do your own thing too. So I hope you do. I really hope you do. And take some time for yourself. And I think what the next project I'm thinking about doing is I have an even bigger tree. And I have some deep pour resin, which I really want to get using up. So I think we're going to do that tree next. And I want to experiment with it, but I can talk to you about that when we get going on that video. I think this is going to be cool. Oops. They get going all over the place, but that's okay, isn't it? As long as we end up with them relatively close to where we want to be. That's the main ticket. So I'm curious that when I think about ticket, did any of the people who live here in Canada that follow me, did you go see the Taylor Swift concert, whether it was in Toronto or I believe the other place she was in BC? I don't know if she did any other parts of the country, but I'm just curious. I like Taylor Swift, but going to concerts, I'm at that age where, not happening anymore. If I can watch it on TV, that's good enough for me. I'm not a big kind of crowd person anymore. Well, I never was. Anyway, if you went, I'd be curious to know, what you thought of it. All right, I may have to do some more of these. I don't think I'm going to have enough for this. And I'm almost wondering if I should have thrown some on either side, but I don't think it's, at the end of the day, I don't think it's really going to matter. And since I seem to be keeping them on one side, I think I'd like to keep that going. So I am going to have to make up a bit more of this because I don't have enough. Let's get this last bead out and then we'll mix up some more, and we'll take the my lighter and just go over top of that. Let's put that like that. Just a few more. And then we'll get that lit up. And then we'll start with the denim. And just see how that works out for me. And I have my last Amazon order coming this week. And after that, I vowed to myself I would not be ordering anything off of Amazon until the new year. I know how crazy it gets with people ordering, and especially like here in Canada, it's going to be even more because our postal strike is still going on. Or at least at the taping of this video, it's still going on. I'd like to see that end. My Christmas cards are not going anywhere, which is unfortunate, but that's, you know, it is part of life. It is part of what's going on. There's a article out now that talks about how a couple of the courier companies, they're not taking items that normally would have been taken by Canada Post because, you know, they've got their own deliveries to make. And yeah, it's been a long strike. And I know nothing about unions, so I'm not in a position to comment. A part of me kind of wishes the government would step in. But they're staying away from it. And like I say, I don't know what's going on behind closed doors to be even able to comment on anything. So yes, I want the mail moving again, but I am keeping ultimately my thoughts to myself because I don't know. And I don't think I need to stir any pots. I just want my mail, be able to mail my cards, but I think I'm going to have to hold them until next year now. Which saves me a lot of work. I can work on 2026 cards then. Okay, so we've done let's cover these up because we seriously do not want those rolling anywhere. Yeah, that's something I don't want rolling anywhere. All right, let's just move that up and over. Well, I have to move it, actually I have to move it to the left to get my UV lamp on here. So I will do it for 90 seconds. I think it goes 60, 90, and then 150. All right, so while that's chilling, as it were, we'll put that over there. So this denim, I'll show you the inside. I've already taken the cover off of it. So that's what our flakes look like. They're very pretty. And I had wondered about just mixing it in with the resin. But again, I don't know enough about flakes. Like the chameleon flakes that Let's Resin has out. My only reason I haven't sort of thought about buying those is because, I mean, they seem to go everywhere. I don't know if these will be any different. Maybe that's just the way flakes are. I don't know. I haven't worked with flakes. I know how mica powder can go all over the place, but I don't know about flakes. So we'll see. We'll see. And hopefully 90 seconds will be enough that we'll set this up. And the other thing is too, I know that I can't do the other side of this. I needed some water in my throat. See the other side of this, but once we take it out of the mold, then I will put it under a UV lamp again so that we can just make sure that those are set properly, because we want them set properly. I'm looking for something. So let's just, okay. So that's set. Probably when I'm mixing up my resin, I will I'll run these through again. All right, let's see what this does. Just take a bit on my makeup brush I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. And I'm wondering almost if I should do my star, but we'll start down here. Yeah, see, I think these are maybe a little bit different than the chameleon flakes. Like I say, I don't know. And it may be more of a glitter that would be expected to be put in resin when you're mixing it. So I don't know. But we're going to find out, aren't we? I want to do it a little different. I feel like I've to something with these at the bottom, so I'm going to, oops, I don't think there's anything on that. We'll do it side to side because I think that'll be better. Yeah. I may have to see if I can find some videos on using this. Because it doesn't seem to be working like a chameleon flake would. So maybe they're just flakes that you're supposed to put in with your resin. I didn't do any research on this before I started using them. So if you happen to know, please drop it in the comments below. At least they're not flying all over the place, so that's brilliant. That I appreciate a whole bunch. Guess I could have taken my gloves off to do this. I think I will find a brown to use in the bottom of this because I would like to have a brown base. Make some of it traditional. All right. So we'll say that's it for the flakes. And they didn't get stuck in my brush, which most flakes do. Most anything does. So let's cover that up. I might have to do a project where we just mix that in with the resin to see what happens. Let me get my gloves off because my hands are seriously warm right now. And I'll have to, yeah, like I said, I'll do the base when I've got, when I'm mixing up my resin. Because I'm sure I have a brown of some sort over there that I can use to color that. Let's get those tweaks of blue out of that. And I probably should use one of my smaller brushes for the yellow. That there. Let's bring this one in. And I want to like make this as yellow as I can because I don't want a blue star, but I know that it'll take on a bit of the hue of the blue, which I'm cool with, but I want it as really as, yellow as I can get it. So I'm going right up to the tips on that. And I should really be flinging it toward the back so I don't get the yellow in with the blue. And I'm trying to think if when I did the last one, if I'd put a little bit of the resin aside, and I can't remember. It's been too long. Now I did get a little bit of the yellow down here. I'm going to see about cleaning that up a bit. All right, I think I got that pretty good. I find depending on the silicone that you've got, some really do a good job holding down the color versus others. Like I've got a really, I think a really solid base of yellow in there, which is nice, which will help. Alrighty. So let me show you now. Do I get my brush cleaned out? Be very careful because I don't want to dislodge that. So that's what we're looking at so far. I'll find my brown. I will clean up a little bit around the top, like the bottom of that star, to get some of the yellow out. But although you could look at it as a bit of a cascading, so when a light gives off its glow, I mean, it does go down. So you know what? Maybe I will leave it. Maybe I won't bother taking that off. Anyway, I'm just going to go find some brown, mix up some resin, and then we can pour. Are you ready to pour? I'm really pleased with how this color looks, especially having added the Glimmer Ghost Blue. It's upped its game with that color in it. So here is our Glimmer Ghost Blue, and I'm going to be really careful because I don't want to pour that too far and end up with any of it on my table. But like the two colors, and yeah, it looks really cool. For the base of this, I used the eye candy karummetou. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but let's hope I'm close. My dog has come to visit and she's freaking out over something, but it's par for the course with you, isn't it, baby girl? All right, so let's get this poured, and then we can leave it until it is time to take it out of the mold. Yeah, I know, baby girl, but you're fine. And you should see, so she buries herself underneath the bed and scratches at the floor like there's no tomorrow. And I can see rug on her face. Yes, I know, but I don't know what's bothering you right now, and I got a video to do. Someday I'll show you a picture of my baby. Oh, actually, if you go to my page, there's me holding her. So, yeah, it's weird because as she's getting older, she's getting more freaked out about stuff, and I don't know why. And she's a schnauzer. She's a mini schnauzer, so I don't know if that's part of their makeup as they get older. I don't know. Some days I wish she could talk to me, and other days I'm glad she can't. The look on her face some days pretty much says it all. This is looking really pretty. I hope you can see, so how the eye candy Glimmer Ghost is, really adding to this color. All right. Now I made up about 80 mil. I do have something over to the side that I need a little bit more resin for. So I made up a little bit more than what I need. And I may have too much of this anyways for that, but we shall see. I don't know if you can hear. She's got her front paws up on my chair, desperately trying to get my attention. Yes, I'll take you out after this. I'm almost done. This is so mesmerizing when I'm doing this, and I think I should be talking. I'm going, no, this is just fun doing this way, because it is. It's so chilling and so relaxing. I hope you get that when you're working on your creative endeavors, that you're not, you know, that you can chill once in a while and just enjoy it. Unlike my dog, who's anything but chilled right now. Not even close. All right, well, I think that's enough for our tree. We're pretty much to the top of it now. I don't know whether to stick a stick underneath this to kind of lift it up in the middle here. I don't know if that's going to help or hinder it. Yeah, it's one of those things, I want to level it out carefully. See, now I'm bulging it, so I don't think that is the right thing to do. Let go. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that. If it's a little off, find me a Christmas tree that's totally perfect. And as I would say, I can find you all kinds that aren't. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Alrighty. So I will keep an eye on this, and we will be back when it's time to take this out of the mold. Welcome to the next day and taking our tree out of our mold. Let's see how this turned out. All right. Oh, isn't that kind of cool? So some of the blue got underneath the UV resin, so it's made the silver blue. And actually, I don't mind it. I'm wondering if we had used a different color, and it's just because of the shading behind it. These almost look gold now versus the silver that we initially put in here. I like the fact that I've got the tree trunk in the brown, and the star doesn't look too bad. It's very dark, but then we knew that was going to happen because of the blue that went behind it, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that I got like a really good base of the silver down, but it makes it look gold, so there's nothing wrong with that. One thing I might be a little tempted to do with this piece is sort of add maybe some snow. Now, I have some of the Ranger products that I could maybe put on this. I have an idea for putting some rhinestones on this, just to add a little bit. I think now I'm hoping you can get, yeah, that denim flakes. I mean, I was a little concerned because of how I was putting it on, what that was going to do, but it actually turned out pretty cool. Now, I do have some stands, so let me just carefully reach around. I made some extras. And give me another second. Talk about being prepared. But that makes it more interesting, right? This is one of those on-the-fly things that I like to do, where we talk about different ways of decorating things and what you can do. All right. So this is the one I had done a while ago. And when I say it's in the last year. And I went to town putting stuff on this and even on the back to start decorating. And that's, trust me, I normally do a much better job than that. And then what I decided to do was I think I glued it and then I put this around it to make it look like snow at the bottom. And two, because it's not wide enough to stand up on its own. So if I took something like this and sanded it down, because it's not quite, and this is a piece I made and it's not as flat as I would like it to be. But we have the ability to do the same thing with this piece and putting some snow down here. We could put some of that snow type on the sides here. I want to find a really cool way of decorating this. This, as I say, this is, I was just sort of trying different things out, but I did like the fact that I got the Merry Christmas on it. So that's something you could do with these as well. Always let your imagination just take you wherever it wants as far as your creativity goes, because it's through doing things like this that you get different ideas. And I like the fact that we can stand this wherever we wanted, and it looks cool. Like it's a nice tree, and it has potential. Now, if you had a big enough Christmas tree, and I'm talking one that's really big, really full. I mean, you could see about potentially hanging something like this on it. It's a little big, I grant you that. It gives you an idea, though. Now, I had wondered, too, if you made 2 of these. And you know me, I don't like anything that isn't. But, okay, so let your imagination. So you could do something like that and put them together. So it wouldn't matter where you put it in your house. If you had it out, like sitting on a table or something, both sides would be done up. And they don't have to be the same. They can be different. Anyway, so that's our tree. I will put it under the UV lamp just to make sure that this is completely set, because that's important to me. And next time, could I avoid, I don't know if there'd be a way of making sure that we didn't have any of the color, but I don't think it looks bad. I'm not 100% on it, but I don't think it looks too bad. And I definitely like the idea of being able to set these up and decorating them. And then if you had, like we talked about, if I had some of the little square, oh, I know what I'm thinking of. Just give me a second. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I want you to use your imagination. You know how I love making you do this. So take that one and put it off to the side. So we have this like this. Make sure it's in camera. These are, it's just a mold that makes these square pieces. And I had done a Christmas tree, some gift sets last Christmas, but with a 3D, not a 2D tree. And I took these little squares and I made them into presents, and I put them around the tree. And what I did was I had put a crystal on the top to represent a bow. And then I'm trying to remember how I did ribbon around it. But anyways, I made these look like presents around the tree. You could do something like that to decorate it up even more. Like, you really have a lot of ability with pieces like this. Now, I also have one of those, and again, I need to remember to do this. I have the bottom of a wood stump, which I'm sure many of you have seen. So you could even use that. And it's round, obviously. And you could have something like that on. Like, you could make a scene out of the whole thing, which is something I really, really like, because then you make a whole something for your tree. The English language. Anyway, so something like this. Here, take the blue away. Right? And if you have the tiny lights, you could actually wrap them around it. So yeah, the possibilities for something like this, it does lend itself to a lot. I will post pictures of this on my Being Intentionally Creative page once I get it all done up. I like the blue. I think this looks really pretty. I'm really glad I used translucent and not a solid color. I can see myself, for the star anyways, doing a little bit of work to it. I'm not sure what yet. I have my chrome markers, so I could do gold around that. I'm wondering, I think I have yellow, so I could spot that up a bit. But yeah, I think the possibilities for something like this are extensive. Like, you just got to let your imagination have fun with it and come up with something different and unique. Anyway, again, I want to thank each and every one of you who's taking the time out to watch my videos. I find it really cool when people are in the middle of the night watching my videos when I'm sound asleep. I'm at that age where I like to go to bed very early. I appreciate, though, very much that you guys are watching my videos, and I really hope you're getting some value out of them. If you have any suggestions, because I'm almost finished with doing Christmas stuff, I actually want to move on and do some different things. Anyway, yeah. So thank you for coming along on the ride with me this year. It's been wonderful. We're not done yet, but I seriously appreciate each and every one of you and all the comments and the fact that you're showing up to watch my videos. Have a great day. Be creative. Always be creative. You always are. Take care, and bye for now.